All right, let's dive in today. We're going to be taking a close look at a business coach named Tony Feghali. And we've got some excerpts from his website. It looks like a really interesting website. It's got his background, talks about his coaching approach. We've even got client testimonials and lots of other stuff.
Yeah, it looks like a wealth of information.
I know. What I'm curious about is what makes Tony's approach different from others? You know,
Hmm?
like what's special about it? And what can we learn from the stories of the people he's helped, the people he's coached?
Yeah, great questions. Right away on his website, he definitely paints a vivid picture of himself. He doesn't just call himself a business coach.
Right.
He's an entrepreneur, academic, raconteur, biker, baker, and rainmaker.
Wow. That's a mouthful. It's like he's got a whole bunch of different things going on.
Yeah.
It's going to give him a unique perspective, I bet. And hey, while we're at it, what exactly is a raconteur?
A raconteur is basically a really good storyteller. Someone who can really hold an audience's attention and make their words come alive.
Oh, I see. So instead of just giving you like a to-do list, he's almost weaving a story around your goals, huh?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I bet that makes the whole coaching process much more engaging, more memorable for his clients.
That's really cool. And, speaking of goals, his tagline really jumped out at me. It says, "When we work together, you'll clearly define your next adventure. You will shorten the time to choose between options and move forward with designing your action plan." It's like he's all about making things clear and getting things done.
Absolutely. And that's something a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. It's easy to get stuck overthinking things, too many options, too much analysis.
Analysis paralysis.
Exactly. Tony seems to really emphasize defining a clear path and then taking action, just doing it.
Which is easier said than done sometimes, I know. And wow, looking at this list of people he's worked with, some pretty impressive names here. He calls them superhumans.
Superhumans. I like that.
Yeah. Right. We got CEOs, serial entrepreneurs, coaches, even a digital learning consultant. And they're all saying great things about him in the testimonials. What kind of changes do you think he helped these people make?
That is the question. Let's dive into these testimonials and see what we can uncover. What jumps out at you?
Well, one that caught my eye was from Ibrahim El-Turki. He's, let me see. Yes, he's a serial entrepreneur. He said that Tony helped him simplify things when they got too complicated and helped him focus when he was, all over the place with his activities. I think a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to that, especially as their businesses grow.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like Tony's really good at cutting through the noise and helping his clients zoom in on what really matters. Maybe he uses certain frameworks or strategies to help them prioritize, streamline their actions.
Right, so they don't burn out. Then there's Sarah Dasuki, the digital learning consultant. She talks about Tony's empathy. She called him a fantastic mentor who also taught her how to mentor others. So it seems like his coaching isn't just about business strategy, right? It's about personal development too, leadership skills even.
Interesting. So he's not just helping you achieve your business goals, he's helping you become a better leader, a better mentor yourself. I like that.
It's like a ripple effect, right?
Exactly.
Okay, now these labs he offers have got me really intrigued. They sound like some sort of workshops or programs, but with these really interesting names, like Retreat by Design and The Courage to Fall. What do you make of those, and how do they fit in with his overall approach to coaching, his philosophy?
Well, they sound like immersive experiences, maybe diving deeper into specific topics. Retreat by Design makes me think of strategic planning and self-discovery.
Maybe in some beautiful location like a retreat center or something?
Maybe. That would be nice.
Yeah, get away from it all and focus, and The Courage to Fall. Well, that one seems like it's all about embracing risk, learning from setbacks, which, let's face it, are going to happen in the entrepreneurial world.
Oh, yeah. You're going to fall, that's for sure. But it sounds like he's trying to help his clients develop that resilience, that mindset that helps them get back up and keep going.
So it's not just about succeeding, it's about learning how to deal with failure too.
Right, and turning those failures into learning opportunities, and that seems to be a big part of his approach.
Yeah. Action, resilience, and self-discovery. I like it. It's not just about building a business, it's about building a stronger you in the process. So what can we say about Tony Feghali based on all this? What's the big takeaway?
Well, he's definitely not your typical business coach, that's for sure. He seems to bring this unique mix of experience, creativity, and a real passion for helping his clients. And he's got a really multifaceted approach. He's using storytelling, these personalized programs, and even technology to make his coaching more engaging and impactful.
He's like a business coach, a mentor, and a tech enthusiast all rolled into one. And don't forget, raconteur, biker, baker, and rainmaker.
Right. Almost forgot those.
But what really stands out to me is his focus on action, resilience, and self-discovery. He wants his clients to define their own adventures, overcome challenges, and ultimately achieve their goals, whatever those goals might be.
Yeah, that's a great way to sum it up. And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's turn our attention to you, the listener. What resonates most with you about Tony's approach? What thoughts or questions are coming up for you as we've explored his work? It's amazing how creative these labs sound, right? Each one seems to have a unique focus. We were just talking about Retreat by Design and The Courage to Fall.
Right. And looking ahead to 2025, there are a bunch more coming out. Silver Fox Salt and Pepper is one that caught my eye. It says it merges the business, tourism, and hospitality sectors. What do you think that's all about?
Sounds interesting. Maybe it's aimed at entrepreneurs who are looking to create experiences within those industries, maybe tapping into certain trends or demographics.
That makes me think of the whole experiential travel trend. People are looking for authentic, locally driven experiences these days. Maybe that's what Tony's tapping into. And then there's Tool Time with Tony. That sounds almost too fun to be a business workshop.
I know, the name's catchy. The description says it's all about those essential tools for business alignment and self-improvement, the ones Tony uses in his own work.
So it's like getting a peek behind the scenes, right? Learning from a master. But okay, this one really surprised me. Dr. T, Tony's AI twin.
Yeah, that one definitely stands out.
It's like super futuristic. It says it's learning to serve clients when Tony himself is busy.
Wow. That raises some questions. It's interesting to think about the role technology can play in coaching, but I wonder, some people might be hesitant about an AI, replacing a human coach.
Yeah, I could see that. But on the other hand, it could make coaching more accessible, right? Imagine having access to support whenever you need it, even if Tony's not available.
That's true. It could be great for those super busy entrepreneurs who need on-demand support. But it makes you wonder, what are the limitations of an AI coach? Can it really understand you on the same level as a human, with empathy and intuition?
Right, that's the big question. I guess it all depends on how advanced this AI is, what it's been trained on.
Exactly. Maybe Dr. T is great at giving structured advice, providing resources, maybe even personalized recommendations, but matching the human connection, the emotional intelligence of a human coach, well, that's a tough one.
I'll have to see how it all plays out. But let's shift gears for a bit and talk about the lab graduate section. It features programs like Tuesdays at Starbucks and the Faller Archetype. These seem to be geared toward a wider audience, not just Tony's one-on-one clients.
Yeah, you're right. Tuesdays at Starbucks. It started as a blog series, then became a book, so clearly it struck a chord with a lot of people. Maybe it's a collection of those nuggets of wisdom, stories, practical tips that came out of those Tuesday meetups.
Sounds like a great way for entrepreneurs to connect, share their experiences, learn from each other, right, in a more casual setting. And the Faller Archetype, it invites you to take the quiz and discover which Faller archetype resonates most with you. It's kind of like those personality tests that reveal your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, exactly. And it goes back to Tony's emphasis on resilience and viewing failure as a learning experience. Figuring out your own Faller archetype could help you deal with setbacks better, turn them into opportunities for growth.
So instead of fearing failure, you're learning to understand how you react to it, develop strategies for bouncing back. Really interesting.
Yeah, it really brings us back to a key theme we've seen in Tony's work. He's not just focused on achieving success in the business sense, he's also encouraging self-awareness and personal growth. It's all part of the entrepreneurial journey.
Totally. It's not just about building a business, it's about building a better you along the way. So what does all this tell us about Tony Feghali?
Well, he's clearly a dynamic and creative coach who genuinely cares about his clients. His approach goes way beyond traditional coaching methods. He's incorporating storytelling, personalized programs, even cutting-edge technology.
Yeah, he's a business coach, mentor, tech enthusiast, all in one. Plus, the raconteur, biker, baker, rainmaker.
Oh, yeah, can't forget those.
But what really stands out is his emphasis on action, resilience, and self-discovery. He empowers his clients to define their own path, overcome those obstacles, and ultimately reach their goals, whatever they may be.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's shift our focus to you, the listener. What stands out to you most about Tony's approach? What questions are you pondering as we've explored his work?
So we've really explored the world of Tony Feghali, his background, his coaching style, those super interesting labs, and even his AI twin, Dr. T. But now, as we're wrapping up our deep dive, it's time to bring it back to you, the listener.
What really stands out to you about Tony's approach? If you were to imagine yourself as one of his superhumans, What parts of his coaching style would you be most drawn to?
For me, I'm really struck by his focus on action and resilience. It's so easy to get caught up in planning and analysis, but Tony seems to really push his clients to move forward, even when things are uncertain.
That's a powerful combination, and it's something that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. It's easy to stay stuck in the dreaming phase, but Tony seems to be really good at helping people bridge the gap between having a vision and actually making it happen.
I think his emphasis on self-awareness and resilience is so important too. It's not just about hitting those business goals, it's also about developing the inner strength to deal with the challenges that come with being an entrepreneur.
He seems to really get that. Building a successful business is as much about personal growth as it is about business strategy. And those labs, they're not just workshops, they're like experiences designed to help you push your boundaries and discover those strengths you might not even know you have.
I'm still really fascinated by the courage to fall. It suggests that he's not afraid to talk about failure, which can be a topic that people avoid in the business world. But he seems to see it as a learning opportunity.
That resonates with me too. And think about those Tuesdays at Starbucks sessions. They create a space for entrepreneurs to have those honest conversations, to share their struggles, and learn from each other's experiences.
It's like he's built this community where vulnerability and learning go hand in hand. Now, I've got to ask, what about Dr. T, the AI coach? Do you think AI can ever really replace that human element in coaching?
That's a really good question, and one that a lot of people are talking about. While AI can be a great tool for providing personalized insights and guidance based on data, I think that human connection is still super important, especially when it comes to empathy, intuition, and that deep understanding that comes from real life experience.
I agree. While Dr. T could be helpful for getting quick tips or more structured guidance, it's hard to imagine it replicating the kind of depth you get from a conversation with a real human coach like Tony.
Exactly. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Tony Feghali, we want to leave you with this question. What's one question you'd ask Tony if you had the opportunity to sit down with him for a Tuesday at Starbucks session?
Think about the things we discussed today. What sparked your interest? What challenges are you facing in your own business or career that Tony's approach might help you overcome?
And remember, the path to success is rarely a straight line. There are going to be twists, turns, and yes, even falls along the way. But as Tony Feghali reminds us, it's not about avoiding those falls, it's about having the courage to get back up, learn from them, and keep moving forward.
Great advice. And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Tony Feghali.